Mother-in-law showed up to my baby's baptism like it was a wedding weeks after my sister's funeral. I need to rant about my mother-in-law. My daughter recently had her baptism. It was initially going to be a big celebration, but just days before, my sister suddenly passed. I am so sorry for your loss. In fact, my sister had already bought a beautiful outfit for the baptism that we ended up burying her in. As a result, we scaled everything down to a small, intimate family event. We didn't want to delay the baptism even further, but we also wanted to keep it simple and respectful. My family, my parents, my other sister, and my brother dressed very modestly. Even my husband's brothers and their families dressed appropriately for church, business casual, understood. But my mother in law? No, no. She rolls up like she's attending a wedding reception. Sparkles, jewels, the whole thing. Zero awareness, zero sensitivity. It was tone deaf on a day that was about reverence and grief as much as celebration. And the behavior didn't stop there. She kept a long, sulky face through the entire ceremony, then suddenly switched on a beaming smile the moment the camera came out. Fake, fake, fake. At home, she shoved herself next to me in pictures. My whole body would stiffen. She pushed her face right up into my baby's face for photos and staged helpfulness by swooping in to open one dish just to be seen before walking away. Performative to the core. Meanwhile, she's on the phone with my husband constantly, clearly feeding him narratives. Now he's telling me that we have to do something because our parents didn't interact. Let's be real. My parents wanted nothing to do with them at all. And for good reason. After 2 years of abusive behavior from his parents, yes, we lived at their house for the first 2 years of our marriage and just recently moved out into a place of our own, including a group counseling meeting where his parents dragged my mother through the mud and accused me of having psychological problems because she supposedly didn't guide me properly. Why would my parents want to mingle with them? Especially after everything my family has been through recently. We just lost my sister. They just lost a daughter. To make comments like that is not just wrong, it's cruel and ignorant. And this isn't even the worst of it. Just hours after we buried my sister, literally at the luncheon following her burial, my mother in law went up to my grieving mother, who had just laid one of her daughters to rest, and started to complain about me. She told my mom through tears that I don't let her hold my child. Oh, what a fucking place to do that, lady. Tone deaf? We were living in her house at the time, so she already had constant access. But even if she didn't, that was not the moment. Who complains about something so petty to a woman who just buried her daughter? That is how selfish and tone deaf she is. I'm exhausted by the fakery, the theatrics, and the control disguised as holiness. Everything with her is about being seen as a perfect, pious, generous matriarch, when in reality, she's a self absorbed, manipulative, and completely tone deaf bitch. I added the bitch part. And before I say anything, there is an update. So let's see. OP says, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who took the time to read, comment, share, and reach out with kindness on my original post. Your solidarity, validation, and even the stories you shared from your own lives truly uplifted me in a moment where I felt so unseen and alone. To those who also lost a loved one or had a toxic in-law situation at the worst possible time, my heart is with you. Love that. A few people asked whether I've ever stood up to my mother-in-law. The answer is yes. And the very first time I stood my ground, she went full on attack mode, spinning lies, twisting the story, even trying to rewrite our history. For example, our marriage came about through an arranged proposal, and it was always her who pursued it, calling my mom regularly for years. Yet when I called her out, suddenly the story flipped to my mom being the one who begged and chased while she supposedly reluctantly gave in. She's also told me I should feel lucky to be married at all because my family wasn't wealthy and my mom had three daughters. That's the kind of person she is: belittling, manipulative, and obsessed with putting me down to elevate herself. And here's the truth: you cannot have a rational conversation with someone who constantly lies, rewrites history, and gaslights. It will drive you mad. That's why I've stopped engaging, because it's not a battle you can ever win. Also, for context, I come from a South Asian background. In our culture, marriage is seen not just as two people uniting, but two families merging. But living in North America and growing up here, my perspective is a little different. I believe in boundaries, and I believe that they matter and they should be respected both ways. The clash is something my in laws refuse to understand. So, yes, the incident at my sister's funeral was just one example of the many. Honestly, I could make a whole new post or even a whole new reality show about the things my mother in law has pulled. It would probably go viral because the level of crazy is something you would almost not believe unless you lived it. Oh, girl, what to even say to this? Number one, my absolute condolences for you and your family for the loss of your sister, your mother in law. Wow. I do understand cultures and things like that, but don't forget, when you took your vows with your husband. It would be great to have the families include you, but if they don't, then let them just be. She wants to say these nasty things about you? Cool. Let her sit there and say them, but stop being around to hear them. Do not engage, do not interact. Because what I'm seeing here is she likes to play the victim and play the bully at the same time. Stop giving her the ability to do it. Every time she treats you cruelly, just look at her and say, bless your heart. Anytime she does something just for show, bravo, bravo. Go ahead and be petty. It's okay in this situation. I'm sorry, but as soon as somebody would try and take over, or how about this? What the hell makes her think that your family would want to interact with her at all with the things that she's already done in the past? Negative Ghost Rider. It doesn't matter what she wants. And you and your husband do need to have a conversation, because I do understand cultural differences, but you need to explain to him how your family has been extremely disrespected on more than one occasion. And that no, you're not going to subject your family to his mother. If he wants to have a conversation with her and try and get it fixed, that's great. But that's something he's going to have to handle. This is not something for you. And I will tell you this: him coming to you saying, we need to do this, negative. He's repeating mama's words and expecting you to fix it. This is not a you problem. This is a monster in law problem. And it's an issue of her behavior. So this isn't for you to fix. Do not get voluntold. You tell your husband, there's nothing for me to fix. If his mother wants to fix things, then let her fix them. It's not your problem. And honestly, I tell your family, completely block them all, because why would you want them subjected to it? No need.